Good morning. Today is Thursday. Oh, no, it's Wednesday, September the 22nd at 11 a.m. This is a meeting of the Streets, Traffic, and Refuse Committee meeting. This meeting is called to order. Seeing a quorum, this meeting is called to order. Madam Chair, would you please call the roll?
Alderman Boyd.
Present.
Alderman Vaccaro.
Present.
Alderwoman Boyd. Alderman Bosley.
Present.
Alderman Martin. I'm sorry, Alderwoman Martin.
Present.
Alderwoman Schweitzer.
Present.
Alderwoman Peel.
Excused.
Thank you. Chairwoman Tyus.
Present.
6 present, you have quorum.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Madam Clerk, let's see. The next order of business is the approval of minutes. I hope everyone has had a chance to look over the minutes, and if so, I'd entertain a motion that we approve the minutes of Thursday, July 8th, 2021.
Make a motion that we approve the minutes from Thursday, July 8th, 2021.
Second.
We had a motion and a second. I don't know who said second. Did you get the second?
It sounds like Alderman Boyd.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right then. Madam Clerk, would you call the roll?
Alderman Boyd.
Aye.
Alderman Vaccaro.
Aye.
Alderwoman Boyd. Alderman Bosley.
Aye.
Alderwoman Martin.
Aye.
Alderwoman Schweitzer.
Aye.
Alderwoman Peel. Chairwoman Tyus.
Aye.
6 aye votes.
By your vote, you approve the motion to approve the minutes of Thursday, July 8th, 2021. The next thing we have are board bills for review. I'm sorry. Let me turn this down. And before I do that, I want to read, we have a rule that says that we can have public input. I don't think we have any really public speakers. What we have are some people that people brought to speak in behalf of their bill. Let me see here. I will read the rules just in case, but really these are only people who are brought to speak in behalf of a certain board bill. But our rules regarding public input, which I'm supposed to read into the record, says that speakers will be called in the order they appear on the list, which is the same order in which they are registered to speak. Each speaker will be given a time set by the committee chair to speak. Each speaker will be called by name when it's their time to speak by the committee chair or the clerk as directed by the committee chair. Each speaker may speak on a topic that the committee chair has recognized them to speak on and related matters. A speaker will be given 1 minute mark when they have reached that point. Each speaker will be told when their time is up. Once their time is up, a speaker is to stop talking unless the committee chair gives them an additional time. All participants are asked to be respectful and considerate of others. Any participant may leave written comments by sending them to the clerk of the board, Mr. Terry Kennedy, at kennedyt@stluismode.gov, or by calling 314-589-6845 to make arrangements. We actually do have two people, constituents of the 12th Ward that wrote in. When that time is appropriate, I will give that Alderwoman Schweitzer, if she wants to read some of the comments or all of the comments into the record, she does not have to, because they are part of the record, because they sent them in a timely fashion. Okay, our first board bill is 62. Is Alderman Muhammad here? Alderman John Collins Muhammad. Okay, I usually do the people on the committee last unless there's an emergency. So Alderwoman Martin and Alderman Boyd would be next normally, but we can do them last so we can get the people before us that are not on this committee. The next person would be Alderwoman Lisa Middlebrook.
Good morning.
Good morning, how are you?
Great, thank you. And yourself?
Okay, Madam Clerk, would you read the little introduction regarding Board Bill 67?
The overall purpose, Board Bill 67, introduced by Alderwoman Lisa Middlebrook. The overall purpose of this bill is to conditionally vacate the following public unimproved street: irregular shaped portion of Essex Avenue, beginning approximately 830.5 feet southeast of Humboldt Street. The petitioner is Hinkle U.S. Operations Company. The vacated area will be used to correct property lines.
Okay, Alderwoman Middlebrook, you are recognized on Board Bill 67.
Okay, thank you, Madam Chair, members of the committee. So Hinkle U.S. Operations, this is pretty straightforward. They want to correct the property lines here at Humboldt and McKissick, and this is what this is about. I do have two people here who can speak on this, and that is Richard Norville and Rob Harvey.
Okay, let's see, before we have your speaker speak, is there any member of the committee that has a question at this point? Because I will then just let the speaker speak, and then we can all ask questions if that's okay with everyone. Okay, Ms. Middlebrook, introduce your first speaker.
Okay, I have Mr. Richard Norville here.
I'm sorry, Alderwoman Middlebrook. Good morning, Mr. Norville. How are you this morning?
Good morning. Can you hear me?
I can, thank you very much. Would you state your name and your title, please?
Yes, Richard Norville. I'm a professional land surveyor with Lowell's Incorporated.
Okay. You could go ahead with your testimony. I don't have to swear you in, I don't think, because you are testifying for the bill, I'm kind of unsure about this. I'm gonna have to check this because we should really swear people in, but we didn't normally do it when people just came to present before the committee. So I'm not gonna do it at this time. And in the future, I will be more positive about if we're supposed to swear people in. But at this time, would you just go ahead and speak to the bill?
Sure. As it was said, it's pretty straightforward. We did a property survey for Henkel U.S. Operations Company and discovered that there was McKissick Avenue had been vacated, but they had missed like a small triangular shaped piece that was never vacated. So we're just trying to get that vacated to basically clean up their title and clean up the property lines, because otherwise there's a little piece of public right of way in the middle of everything that's been vacated around it. So that's really all there is.
Okay. Any committee members have any questions for Mr. Norville? Seeing none, the second guest you have, I'm sorry, Alderwoman, is it Mr. Harvey?
Yes, it is. Thank you.
Okay, good morning, Mr. Harvey. How are you this morning?
Good morning. I'm doing very, very well. How about you?
Okay, would you state your name and your title, please, for the record?
My name is Rob Harvey. I'm plant engineer of Herman Oak Leather Company. Here in St. Louis, we're at Angelica and North First.
Okay, would you go ahead and give your testimony regarding this board bill, please?
Actually, I'm here for, I believe it's bill number 70 to vacate.
Oh, you're not here for 67?
I'm sorry, I'm here for I believe it's for number 70.
Oh, okay then. Okay, so you only have one speaker for your first board bill, Alderwoman, 67?
Sorry. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm sorry. When you said you had two, I thought we usually just go by the bill you're doing right then and there, okay? Okay, so you have no other speakers?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Is there anybody who has any questions of her speaker or of the Alderwoman? Any members of the committee? Any members that are, any board members that are not on the committee have any questions? Seeing none, you are recognized to close on Board Bill 67, and I need you to do a motion to pass this board bill out of committee with, I'd entertain a motion to pass this board bill I'm sorry, you go ahead and close and then I'll do the motion. I gotta get going today.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would just like to ask for your favorable consideration passing out Board Bill number 67. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I'm gonna wait now.
I'm
I'd
sorry,
entertain a
is it-
motion. Let me say it, Alderman from the 23rd. I'm gonna come to your committee and do this. I'd entertain a motion that we pass Board Bill 67 out with a do pass recommendation.
I'll make the motion or so moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any call for previous roll?
Previous roll.
No, you can't do previous roll.
Oh,
I hadn't got on yet.
No, well, the correct thing is to say objection.
Objection.
Okay. If you say no, the chair can't do previous roll, she's gonna do previous roll, okay?
Just
Okay.
teach, Alderwoman Tyus, teach.
Okay, there's been an objection to previous roll. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll? All these years, the Alderwoman doesn't know me.
I know. I was like, I don't know why I did that.
Alderman Boyd,
Aye.
Alderman Vaccaro,
aye.
Alderwoman Boyd,
Aye.
Alderman Bosley,
Aye.
Alderwoman Martin,
Aye.
Alderwoman Schweitzer,
Aye.
Alderwoman Peel, Chairwoman Tyus.
Aye.
7 ayes votes.
By your vote, you sustain the motion and Board Bill 67 is passed out of committee with a due pass recommendation. And we didn't do previous roll, but if the Alderman from the 27th does that again, we will omit her from the meeting. In fact, I will turn her mic off. Okay. Our
Madam
next-
Chair, I have a quick,
Yes,
so-
sir.
we skipped over Alderman Muhammad because he couldn't answer. He texted me. He's in the list of people here. He just, some reason
Excuse
he.
me, please let me run my meeting, okay?
Okay, just so you.
I understand. I've been here for, this is my 30th year at the Board of Aldermen. I do understand. Okay, the next person we have is Alderman Dan Gunther, who is a Board Bill 68. Madam Clerk, would you please read the introduction to Board Bill 68?
Board Bill 68 sponsored by Alderman Dan Gunther, an ordinance recommended by the Board of Public Service to conditionally vacate above surface and subsurface rights for vehicle, equestrian, and pedestrian travel in an irregular portion of 12th Street considered as excessive right-of-way adjacent to 1204 through 06 Lynch in the city of St. Louis, Missouri, as hereinafter described, in accordance with Charter Authority and in conformity with Section 1.4 of Article 21 of the Charter and imposing certain conditions on such vacation.
Okay, Alderman Gunther.
Yeah.
Okay, I have you here as having no speakers. Is that correct?
I have no speakers today. That's correct.
Okay, you're recognized
Thank you, Chairwoman Tyus and members of the
to
Streets
present
Committee.
Board Bill 68 before the committee.
Thank you. Can you hear me all right?
We hear you great.
Okay, wonderful. Yes, Board Bill 68, as was just described, there is a section of grass that is considered excess right away. I had a whole lot of phone calls about this because when they posted the notice of vacating land, there were a lot of neighbors over there wondering if the streets or sidewalks would be affected. None of those will be affected. So where 12th Street and Lynch come together, right kind of by Anheuser-Busch and 13th Street, it's a odd shaped triangle that there's a little parcel of grass that the developers directly to the west, a developer named Hank Hart and Ron Seabaugh. Ron Seabaugh is a petitioner. They are building 2 new single family homes at 1204 and 1206 Lynch. And this little tiny triangle of grass, they're hoping to be able to vacate from the city as excess land so that they can meet some of their development requirements for easements and square footage of the lot. So it's a pretty straightforward one. It's just a small piece of grass. I believe it's around 900 square feet. There is one little piece of, I believe it's AT&T equipment that they have had to kind of make sure that when they drew their lines in their doing their surveys, that they are still allowing that utility to have their little piece of the triangle. But overall, it's just trying to get this little triangle combined into the overall plot of land for their construction of 2 new houses. So with that, I will take any questions.
Not if I don't allow you to, Alderman.
Oh, okay.
I just got all these men running my committees today.
With that, I will yield to the chairwoman.
Okay, let's go down the list here. First of all, I'll ask any questions. Thank you, Alderman Gunther. Is there anyone on the committee who has any questions? If so, raise your hand.
There.
Okay, Alderman Vaccaro, you're recognized.
I do have just a couple quick questions. So the property is owned by the city now, right? And so are we selling the property to this group? And if we are, how much? Or are we just taking it and giving it to them?
Talking with Jennifer Waters, which I believe is the streets person or the streets, I guess, liaison with the vacating property. They put in there that any fees and any sort of costs would be encumbered by the developer. So I'm not sure if that's costs just for the extra surveys and those sort of things. I don't believe there's any sort of price to the land as far as I know, but I'm not sure about that.
I would be curious about that. I mean,
yeah,
because
like I said, it's a very small triangle that was considered excess land. At one point, 12th Street was changed and made into a curve. And so there's that little tiny triangle that was excess land. It doesn't affect the street or the sidewalks.
No, I understand. I guess the question I'm asking is, are we just going to gift them the land? Apparently they're going to build a couple houses. They're speculators. They're going to sell those houses. So they're going to make a profit off those houses. They're not moving in them, I would assume.
No, they are for sale.
They're for sale, right?
Yes.
So are we getting anything for the land that we're giving them? I know you said it's not a whole lot of land, but I'm pretty sure it's got to have some value, or they wouldn't need it. That's my question. I guess it seems that they should be giving us something for the ground. It's just an opinion.
Yeah, I'm trying to read through the bill here itself, and I don't see any sort of price listed. But that's something I could double check with Jennifer Waters and see if there is a price for that land. So
if you would, I'm not going to vote against you on it. I mean,
yep.
I just would like to know maybe before we, perfect it on the floor. If we're just giving them this and they're going to make money off it, and if there's any other land the city would like to give me that I can make money off of, I'd appreciate it.
Sure thing.
Anyway, that was my only question. Thank you.
Any other questions? I can kind of answer this a little bit if you don't mind, Alderman.
I'd be happy.
Okay, so they did not sell the land when it says excess land like this. Normally, what they do is just vacate it. It's not worth a lot of times the legal effort to go into the drop a contract or whatever. The city still retains all their rights, a public right of way, if they need to come and do something on it, not the city, but the utilities. And actually, if there was going to be in some kind of sale, if you read section 6, it says the lawful permits from the building division or authorized city agency as governed by the Board of Public Service. So before they could even do a build up on that land, if there was going to be some kind of sale or something like that, they would require them to show that. So, but sometimes they just vacate the land because it's just really not that much land that we get into it. If it was some significant amount, I think we would have to look at a sale.
Yeah, thank you, Chairwoman. And like I said, it is a very small triangle, so it's a piece that would not be buildable by anyone else. It's just it's really just so that where they have the property lines where they're building, so that they can meet the requirements, I believe, of like the 3-foot easement on the side of it. So, yeah.
Any further questions? Hearing none, you are recognized to close on Board Bill 68.
Yes, again, thank you, members of the Streets Committee. I would like to ask for favorable consideration of this, and per the Alderman from the 23rd, I will check back with Jennifer Waters, the street vacating, liaison, and just double check to make sure there are, because I am looking at section 9 that says all monies received will be deposited by the agencies with the comptroller's office. So that makes me think maybe there is something, but maybe that is just application fees. But I will double check and get that final answer for perfection. And so I ask for your favorable consideration. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd entertain a motion that Board Bill number 68 be passed out with a due pass recommendation.
Okay, that'll work.
So moved.
That'll work.
Second.
Previous role.
We have a
What,
motion.
across the street?
Somebody
Okay.
needs to turn their mic off.
Okay,
Okay, we have a motion and a second that Board Bill 68 be passed out with a due pass recommendation. We have a call for previous roll. Any objections to previous roll? Hearing none, Board Bill 68 is passed out with a due pass recommendation.
Thank you, everyone.
I'm sorry, Alderwoman Middlebrook. I saw you had a second one. I should have done yours right then. And after I do yours, Alderman Collins Muhammad has 2. So I'll do both of his at the same time. We now have Board Bill 70, introduced by Alderwoman Lisa Middlebrook. Madam Clerk, if you would read the introduction, please.
Board Bill 70, introduced by Alderwoman Lisa Middlebrook. The overall purpose of this bill is conditionally vacate the following public unimproved street. First Street from Angelica southwardly, approximately 458.305 plus or minus 5.635 feet to its terminus. The petitioner is Herman Oak Leather Company and others. The vacated area will be used to consolidate properties and improve safety and security.
Okay. Alderwoman Middlebrook.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the committee. Board Bill 70 is pretty straightforward as well. The purpose of this bill is to vacate the following public unimproved street, Angelica, and it is to improve safety and security over that property. And I do have Mr. Rob Harvey here from Herman Oaks Leather Company, who can also speak on this. So I yield.
Okay, thank you. Good morning again, Mr. Harvey. I need you to unmute.
Good morning. Thank you for having me here today.
Okay. Are you frozen? Because all of a sudden you froze up on my screen.
Oh, nope, I'm moving. Okay. We're located at the corner of North First and Angelica Street. In the past 2 or 3 years, we've had several car break-ins on the street. We've actually had a couple break-ins during business hours on the street. And we've had a couple also as well in the morning. We've also had at least 2 car thefts from the same section of the street. The street does go down to the end of our property and dead ends, where the adjacent company built a retaining wall because they had problems with people parking on the same section of street and breaking in their facility after hours. So we would like to get the street vacated to allow us to put up a security gate and secure the area at nighttime to keep traffic and hopefully people with bad intentions from coming down the street and either break into our facility or the neighboring facility. I think that's all I've got.
Looks like we've lost our chairwoman. Is she still on?
Yeah, it looks like she lost connection.
Yeah. That in the comments.
Does the
Alderman Bosley is the vice chair. I don't know.
or
if
does
he
vice
wanted to
chair take over the meeting at this time, or it should be?
Yeah, good afternoon. I'm sorry, good morning. All right. Madam Clerk, what bill are we on?
70.
All right, we're in the midst of hearing Board Bill 70. The co-sponsors is it Alderman Muhammad?
No, this is Lisa Middlebrook, and we just heard from her speaker.
Okay, thank you very much. Do you have any, is your speaker continuing, or is there another speaker that you like to have speak, Alderwoman Middlebrook?
No, that will be all.
All right, I guess at this time we'll entertain any questions from the committee. Are there any members of the committee that would like to ask any questions of the speaker for Board Bill 75?
70.
70, sorry.
I have a question.
Or is that Alderwoman Schweitzer?
Yes.
All right, Alderwoman Schweitzer.
All right, great, thank you. So I do see that there is some discussion about the monetary some transfer, you know, if there are things that need to be done by the city. I'm trying to find where it says how much money and if there's a sale of the street, or if they're just in charge of paying back any future work the city will have to do. So I'm just interested in that piece of the bill.
My understanding of it is that there would not be any transfer of funds, but that we would take over maintenance and repair of the street in the future. So that the city's responsibility would, for any repairs or anything would be absolved. I think the only thing that we would ask is that the street lights be maintained. But beyond that, any repairs in the street we would take over in the future.
Yeah, it does say here that if it looks like to me, if I'm reading section 9 correctly, that the owners would be fulfilling the monetary requirements as specified by the city agencies below. And in the second note there in that bill, it does say full expenses, removal, relocation, and purpose of all lighting facilities, if any. So it does sound like that would still be the cost, but it looks like the city would be doing the work. Am I reading that correctly, Alderman Middle, or from the second?
That's how I read it.
Okay. That's my only question. I appreciate your time. Thank you. I yield.
Thank you, Thank you, Alderwoman Schweitzer. Are there any other members of the committee that have any questions regarding Board Bill 70? All right, seeing that we have none, doesn't seem that Alderwoman, you do? Is Alderman Boyd, do you have questions, sir?
I do. This is the first time I guess I can remember that there's a vacation and the city is actually maintaining lights. I'm just wondering if there's anybody else on the committee that's familiar with a situation where we do that. I know we do alley vacations quite a bit, and some of those will have lights, but normally do an alley vacation, it's like toward the end of an alley.
Okay, thank you. Is Alderwoman Middlebrook? Oh, I'm sorry, was that question for the?
It was for any member of the committee if they knew.
I do have one in my ward because it was vacated originally by a school. I think that's why. And then it was redeveloped into condos. They had to redo the vacation, and the street lights are still maintained by the city.
Okay, is
weird.
And the alley is the alley blocked off?
Yeah, the school built across the alley. So it just wasn't done right 30 years ago when they built the gym on the alley. But then, so it was sort of like a grandfathered in thing. I did have to re-vacate the alley, but everything stayed the same.
But that wasn't the whole alley. It was just a piece of the alley. Is that right?
It's, yeah, that's just a piece of the alley.
Yeah, I guess because I'm just curious as to, let me ask the owner. Is that Mr. Harvey?
I'm actually the plant engineer.
Okay, so Mr. Harvey, if a street light went out, I guess you guys would schedule something with the street department for one day that they would come over there and change them because you're going to be actually closing the alley with a gate, right?
Well, and the gate is open during the daytime, during business hours.
Okay,
It'll be closed after hours to keep traffic off of the street when we're not actually using it.
Okay.
Currently, the people park up and down the street every day, and that's where our employees park.
well, let me ask you this. So what happens if somebody parks on that street and they leave the car? They stole a car and you don't know if it's stolen until it sit there for seem like 2 months, and I'm being facetious. But what happens if someone did leave their car overnight? It would just get locked up in that space basically?
Yes, but anytime somebody's here in the evening, if they're authorized to be down here, if they decide to drive out, they can drive up the gate and it's got an automatic gate opener on it. So it'll let people out.
So how would they get in? Because I don't have a visual of the location. So if I left my car there, how would I get in if the gate is closed to get it?
Call the watchman and the watchman will let them in.
Okay, cool. Gotcha. All right.
Yeah,
No
we
further
have
questions.
watchmen 24 hours a day.
Okay. Thank you. Appreciate it. No further questions.
Okay, thank you, sir. Is there any more questions from the committee on Board Bill 70? I'm just looking through, making sure we don't have anybody with a finger up. Okay, with that, Alderwoman Middlebrook, you are recognized to close on Board Bill 70.
Thank you. I would like to ask the committee for your favorable consideration and passing out Board Bill number 70.
All right, it's been moved that we passed out Board Bill 70 with a due pass recommendation.
Second.
Second
Wait
is
a minute.
all right, seconded by Alderwoman Pamela Boyd, and that's been a request for previous roll. Any objection?
Objection. The
Sorry.
chairwoman is not here.
Oh, that's true.
She was on previous row. I don't know if she would want to do that or not. She's real technical.
Yep,
Probably
very
need to
true.
do a roll call.
I would agree.
And
I'm
I
sorry,
think the actual motion,
That's what I'm saying. I'm sorry, I missed who made the motion.
right?
the motion was made by Alderwoman Middlebrook.
She's not on the committee, sir.
I'll make the
I'm sorry.
motion to pass this out of committee with a due pass recommendation.
All right, it's been
I'll
motioned
second
by
that.
Alderwoman Martin, seconded by Alderman
Alderman
Vaccaro.
Schweitzer.
I'm sorry.
Alderman Schweitzer made the motion.
Oh, I'm sorry, Alderwoman Schweitzer. Excuse me. Just you guys should be popping up here on the screen. It looks like when you speak, and my apologies for the names there. My apologies. So there's been a motion by Alderwoman Schweitzer and seconded by Alderman Vaccaro to pass out Board Bill 70 with a due pass recommendation. Madam Clerk, please call roll.
Alderman Boyd,
Aye.
Alderman Vaccaro,
Aye.
Alderwoman Boyd,
Aye.
Alderman Bosley,
Aye.
Alderwoman Martin,
Aye.
Alderwoman Schweitzer,
Aye.
Alderwoman Peel, Chairwoman Tyus. 6 aye votes.
Thank you. By your vote, you sustain the motion to pass out Board Bill 70 with a due pass recommendation. Thank you very much. Congratulations, Alderwoman Middlebrook.
Thank you.
Vice Chairman,
Yes, sir.
the chairman was going to do Alderman Hamid's bill number 62, and he had another one next because he was skipped over because he couldn't get on, but she had said that was going to be next.
Okay,
So
we can do that.
And,
All right, we now have is Alderman Collins Muhammad still on the line.
I am, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And that was Board Bill. I'm sorry, I don't have the information right in front of me.
62 is the first one.
Board Bill 62. All right, we will have and put Board Bill 62 in front of us. Alderman Muhammad, you're recognized.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, Vice Chair.
Yes, ma'am.
Chairwoman Tyus normally has me to read the description, so I'll just read the description of Board Bill 62.
Okay, thank you.
Board Bill 62, introduced by Alderman Collins Muhammad, an ordinance. I'm sorry. This is Clerk Kennedy. I'll just put him on hold. An ordinance recommended by the Board of Public Service to conditionally vacate above surface, surface, and subsurface rights for vehicle, equestrian, and pedestrian travel in Essex Place from Marcus Avenue eastwardly approximately 367 feet in the city of St. Louis, Missouri, as hereinafter described in accordance with Charter Authority and in conformity with Section 1.4 of Article 21 of the Charter and imposing certain conditions on such vacations.
All right, thank you. Alderman Muhammad, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This board bill is a simple board bill in practice in its form. We pass these board bills many times here at the Board of Aldermen. This is a street vacation to a former subdivision that was located in my ward right off of Natural Bridge that MSD is requesting. I will leave it at that. I can entertain any questions from the committee if there are any, but that's all it is, Mr. Chairman, just a simple street vacation of Essex Place, which borders right off of Marcus Avenue and Natural Bridge in my ward. That's all I have. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Are there any people that you have to speak, any speakers? Alderman Muhammad?
I do not, Mr. Chairman.
All right, thank you. We'll entertain any questions from the committee at this point. Have any questions from committee members? Nope. Give me a second, going through, making sure we don't have any hands raised. All right, with that, looks like we'll entertain a motion on Board Bill 60.
Make a motion that we pass Board Bill 60 out with a due pass recommendation.
It's been moved by Alderman Joseph Picaro that we pass out Board Bill 60 with a due pass recommendation.
I think it's
Second.
Sorry, it's 62, Vice Chair.
Oh, did I say,
62.
I'm sorry, 62, I apologize.
Can you remake the motion?
62.
Would you like to remake a motion?
Yeah, in case I made it wrong, I remove we pass Board Bill 62 out with a due pass recommendation.
Second.
Thank you. It's been moved by Alderman Vaccaro that we pass out Board Bill 62 with a due pass recommendation, seconded by Alderman Boyd.
Previous roll.
All right, there's been a request for previous roll. Any objection? Seeing none, you sustain your motion to pass out Board Bill 62 with a due pass recommendation.
And the other one would be also that the chairwoman said she was going to do, and that would be Board Bill number 88, which is also John Collins Muhammad.
Okay. Looks like we just got a message in from Alderwoman Schweitzer saying that the chairwoman is trying to log back in.
Okay.
And she said she wanted to be here for Board Bill 88.
Okay. So are there any other board bills that we have that we could take up then during the time that we're waiting for Chairwoman Ties to come back in?
Yeah, well, you got Alderman Todd, which would be Board Bill 81. She was doing people off the committee first, but I would say next going down the list would be Alderman Todd. Or you could go, yeah, Alderman Todd would be next on the list, I would think. Board Bill 81.
Well, give me 1 second. I'm going to give Alderwoman Ties. I just sent her a text message real quick. Get an idea of where we are. For anybody who is watching, we apologize for our systematic errors this morning.
Mr. Vice Chair. I'm the same going on with what she said earlier. Alderman Todd would be next, only because she told him committee members. He's not.
All right, well, it looked like she's still working to get back in. All right, Alderman, what is Alderman Todd's bill? I mean, sorry, what is the number?
Alderman Todd, and I'm gonna get my dogs to quiet down, would be Board Bill 81, and that's just, he's not on the committee, so I'm going by how she had said it. So it'd be Board Bill 81 by Alderman Todd.
So what we'll do now is just go ahead and place Board Bill 81 in front of us. Madam Clerk, can you read Board Bill 81, please?
Board Bill 81, introduced by Alderman Jesse Todd, an ordinance authorizing the honorary street name Michael P. McMillan Way pursuant to ordinance 68937, which shall begin at the intersection of Albert Avenue and Page Boulevard and run north on Albert Avenue to the intersection of Albert and Dr. Martin Luther King Drive.
All right, thank you. Alderman Todd, you're recognized on Board Bill 61.
Can you, good morning, Honorable Street Committee members. I'm presenting this, requesting that this honorary street name for Mike McMillan be given because of his outstanding work, beginning from the time that I met him many years ago on the Democratic City Central Committee. And then he became an alderman for our city. And then he became the license collector, as well as the great work that he's doing in our ward now. He has already bought a building for the Urban League, which has at least more than 60 occupants. He has given away many material things to the needy in our ward. He has gotten many jobs. He's also done some development, but his plans for development is very extensive. He has experience in that, so I know he will succeed. He's bringing in a much needed bank to our community. And so I could go on and on, but his background with the great work that he's done in our city and with the Urban League in our ward, honorary street, he has earned an honorary street name for himself. So that's are there any questions?
Okay, thank you, Alderman Todd. Do you have any speakers?
No, I do not have any speakers, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you. With that, I entertain any questions from the committee or comments.
I would like my name added.
All right, please add Alderman Vaccara's name. Go ahead, Alderwoman Martin.
Oh, thank you. Are we, Alderman Todd, did you get signatures for this? Did you do a petition for this?
Yes, madam.
Okay.
Yes, madam committee woman.
Okay, thank you. I was just having trouble pulling this up. Thanks. That's all.
Thank you. Any other questions from or comments from the members of the committee? And just for, I believe, some background, there is a petition that's generally needed to do an honorary street name, and which is why the Alderman from the 11th asked that question. I know Alderwoman, the chairwoman, is very particular about certain bills, and I'm sure she probably want to be in on this conversation about an honorary street naming for Mr. Mike McMillan, and to ensure the process is completed correctly. Is there any other members that would like to speak or have any questions about this particular board bill? Okay, what we'll do, looks like
Alderman Boyd.
Alderman Boyd.
Yes, I just want to say, based on our rule on honorary street naming, the clerk should not assign a board bill until a petition has been turned in with it. So if it received a board bill, technically it should have had a petition before it ever got to committee. So
Thank you very much, sir. Which means that seems like you got that petition taken care of. What I'll do here, because I know how the chairwoman is, Alderman Todd, we appreciate you being here and we appreciate the efforts that you're putting forth. I think we all are familiar with Mike McMillan and the work that he does in our communities and the work that he's done for the city of St. Louis. And I don't think anybody here would be against passing this board bill out or giving an honorary street naming to Mike McMillan. Says the petition is attached to the board bill. What I'd like to do, though, just to ensure the chairwoman is here for this particular board bill, is hold it until she returns here in a few minutes. The communications division is calling her now from what the clerk Terry Kennedy just posted. So it looks like she'll be back here in just a second. But with this in particular, because I do work with the chairwoman, I'd like to hold this bill until she does return, just out of respect for the chairwoman. And she did just text me, which seems like that was a good idea to do. So Alderman Todd, if you can, just bear with us here for a minute until the chairwoman returns, and we'll take this board bill back up. We won't ask for a recommendation right now, but it has been heard to some degree. Thank you very much, Alderman Todd. Do you have any more questions or comments?
No, I do not. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
You're welcome. Thank you very much for your efforts.
Okay, thank you.
Excuse me. All right, thank you, members of the committee. I'd refer again to Alderman Vaccaro. What would be our next board bill there, sir?
And I would go down committee members. The next would be Alderwoman Sarah Martin on Board Bill 64, because now we're on people that are on the committee. So it'd be Alderwoman Sarah Martin, Board Bill 64.
My board bill.
Oh, Gwen, are you not on there? Hang on one second. Then I thought you were a member.
No.
So then we would be Gwen Evans, Board Bill, Alderwoman Evans, Board Bill number 83 would be the one that should be next.
Thank you very much. We'll place Board Bill 83 in front of us. Madam Clerk, can we please read Board Bill number 81?
83,
I'm sorry.
Board Bill 83, introduced by Alderwoman Gwendolyn Evans, an ordinance authorizing the honorary street name Captain David Dorn Avenue pursuant to ordinance 68937, which shall begin at the intersection of Dr. Martin Luther King and Sarah Street, run north on Dr. Martin Luther King to the intersection of Whittier and Dr. Martin Luther King.
All right, thank you. Alderwoman Evans, you're recognized on Board Bill 83.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. I would like to amend. I have two amendments for Board Bill 83, and I would like to amend number one. Amendment number one would be if you look on the first line, they have an E after David, and that should be corrected.
Yep, if you don't mind, Mr. Vice Chair, that's a Scribner's error. I don't think.
You see that?
Amended.
Can you guys hold on 1 second? This is Alderwoman Ty's calling me. Give me 1 second. I'm sorry.
Sure.
Alderwoman Evans, on Amendment 1, it looks like Avenue is to be striked out.
Yes, I was getting to that.
Okay.
Well, the misspelling's a Scribner's error, and I think.
Okay, well, I'm new at this, and I just want to try to be politically correct. Okay, I'm learning.
No, it's okay. I mean, it's just my opinion, and if the clerks here, someone could tell me otherwise. Usually misspellings or smaller things like
It
that.
does look like it. Yeah, it looks like it is spelled correctly in your board bill. So you're okay. I think it was just on the agenda that there was an added.
So I don't think you need to change it if it's correct. And
Well, I have a clean copy. Now, if this clean copy is not clean, it still has the E behind David.
it would still be a Scrivener's error, I believe.
I think you're right.
Would that clean copy have to have the map and the petition and everything on it, though?
And it looks like it's correct on the clean copy as well. I think there's the amendment 1 has something to do with changing avenue.
The amendment 1 is to amend the board bill on page 2, line 15 to page 2, line 15 as follows. Beginning on page 2, line 15, following the words Captain David Dawn, you would strike out the word avenue and insert in lieu thereof to read in the words and figures as follows: Captain David Dawn Way. So instead of avenue, it should be way.
Perfect.
And then for amendment number 2.
Oh, I think we have to do one at a time.
Oh.
Is the vice chairman here? We have to wait for the vice chairman or someone so that we can make a motion and, change that.
With Alderwoman Caius.
Right, and she's probably going to want to wait because they're both street names. Sharita's got company. So yeah, so we'll have to wait for the First Amendment. So now we have the vice chairman's back.
Sorry about that. Alderwoman Caius is still working to get back in. She's having some very technical difficulties with
Well, this doesn't really affect much, but I'd like to make a motion, and it would be a motion that it just changes. The one, if you, Alderwoman Evans, if you can go back to the line, it just changes it from avenue to way. It would be David Dorn Way. It doesn't affect, and I'm sure the chairman would want to be involved, but this is just doing small corrections.
and she says she's okay with just doing the 2 motions that be needed. These are scribblers errors.
Right.
Right.
And
Also
she
just got a message from Luke Alley.
So would changing it from avenue to way be a Scrivener's error, or should we change the bill?
No, just a scribblers error.
Scrivener's error. That's what I kind of thought that, but I wasn't.
But there already is an amendment for it, so we could just make sure,
That's fine. Well, if you don't mind, Mr. Vice Chair, I'll make a motion that we accept the First Amendment. It just changes the word from avenue to way. So I'll make that motion.
Second.
All right,
And
it's
I'll
been
call for
motioned.
previous roll.
There you go. Since there's been no objection, it's been motion to change Board Bill 81. What is it? We're amending Board Bill 83, I'm sorry, from avenue to way.
Right. So it'd be David Dorn Way.
David Dorn Way instead of David Dorn Avenue. It's been motioned by Alderman Vaccaro, seconded by, Alderwoman Schweitzer.
Yep.
And I'll ask previous roll.
And request for previous roll. Any objection? Hearing none, motion carries. Alderwoman Evans, you can continue.
Okay, also I have an amendment number 2, also to the same board, to the Board Bill 83, and that is and it's the same thing, on page 3, line 3, to page 3, line 3 as follows. Beginning on page 3, line 3, strike out the word avenue again and insert the word way.
Thank you. We'll entertain a motion.
I'll make that motion.
A second.
Thank
In
you.
previous role.
Thank you. There's been a motion for page 3, but to amend page 3, line 3, from David Dorn Avenue to David Dorn Way. The motion has been made by Alderman Vaccaro, seconded by Alderman Boyd. And there's been a request for a previous roll. Or any objection? Hearing none, motion carries. All right, Alderwoman Evans.
Are we holding for the chairwoman to final pass this out since it's?
We're not. He said it's okay to go ahead and move forward with these.
Okay, cool. Okay.
Alderwoman Evans.
Yes.
You're recognized to close on board bill. Well, actually, we didn't ask if there were any questions. I'm sorry, but you're recognized to continue. Alderwoman Evans.
Oh, am I supposed to ask if there are any questions?
No.
Okay, I'm sorry. So you're done with your.
Okay.
Okay.
I'd like to ask the committee to accept the amendments to Board Bill 83 with favorable.
I'll make the motion. We accept Board Bill 83 out with a due pass recommendation.
Second.
Point of order. Point of order.
Okay, I'm sorry.
What is your point of order?
The motion should be to pass Board Bill 83 as amended.
Oh, you're right. I apologize.
Okay.
I will change my motion to that we pass Board Bill 83 out as amended.
Second.
Thank you.
In previous role.
All right. It's been motioned by Alderman Vaccaro that we pass out Board Bill 83 as amended with a due pass recommendation, and seconded by Alderman Jeffrey Boyd. And there's been a request for previous roll. Any objection to previous roll? Seeing none, you sustain your motion to pass out Board Bill 83 as amended with the due pass recommendation. Congratulations, Alderman Evans. Alderwoman Evans, my apologies.
Thank you.
So do I ask Mr. Vice Chairman, do now you want to go to Sarah Martin's? Are we holding the other street namings?
Yes, sir, we can do that. Alderwoman Martin, what is the next board bill?
So it'd be Board Bill number 64.
Okay, are there any other board bills from any other committee members?
Yes, there are. There we have one from Alderman Boyd. We're holding Alderman Todd. We have Board Bill we're holding John Collins Muhammad. We have one from Alderwoman Schweitzer, which is so really the only ones that we're not holding is Alderman Schweitzer's 94 and Alderwoman Martin 64. The rest are more like street names.
Okay.
Because you want the whole time. Oh, and then we have Alderman Boyd. So we have three that are committee members that are not street names.
Okay, so I guess we'll knock out the street namings and get to more in the meat of things, unless one of our committee members need to go and want their board bill heard. Now,
I like to have mine heard.
I'd
now
like to
because
hear mine heard. Mine.
I have a
been waiting for
speaker.
a long time.
okay.
And if
So-
Alderman Boyd has a speaker, he can go ahead. Let the folks with speakers go first. They've been waiting.
Alderman Boyd would be Board Bill 65.
All right, well, we will place in front of us Board Bill 65 at this moment. Madam Clerk, can you please read aloud Board Bill 65?
Board Bill 65, introduced by Alderman Jeffrey Boyd. The overall purpose of this bill is to conditionally vacate the following public street: Semple Avenue from Ashland Avenue southwardly 372.995 plus or minus 0.005 feet to a point. The petitioner is Metropolitan St. Louis Sewer District. The vacated area will be used to consolidate property for a storm water detention basin.
All right, thank you. Alderman Boyd, you recognize?
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Again, Board Bill 65 is basically a partial street vacation from Ashland, almost 373 feet south. If you're familiar with that area, Gunlock School, the front of Gunlock School is on Arlington, and the back of it is on Semple. And there's an alley that runs east and west along the side, which will be the northern side of Gunlock. So that alley vacation is going to start at Ashland and pretty much end at that alley. And MSD owns the property to the east and west. Currently, there's already a detention basin to the east, and they've acquired quite a bit of property in that particular area called the Harlem Basin or something like that. But anyway, I do have a gentleman from MSD, Jared Barr, who's an engineer with MSD, and he can further talk to you about the project that they're doing. I believe I probably have the most detention basins, although I think the Alderman from the 27 have the largest, one of the largest. I don't know. Maybe I do beat you. The horseshoe is pretty large. But Mr. Barr can probably tell us who wins out on the most detention basins in the award. So Mr. Barr, are you still with us? You're on mute.
I am still here. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Do you have video?
I do not have video.
Okay. Go ahead and introduce yourself again, who you with, what you do, and then you can talk about the project.
Yes, I'm Jared Barr. I'm a civil engineer with the Metropolitan St. Louis Sewer District, and I'm a project manager on a stormwater project that was identified by the district as part of a comprehensive plan that addresses a lot of the area, as Alderman Boyd
I'm sorry, I
mentioned.
don't mean to, excuse me, Mr. Jared Barr, are you on a phone call, or are you capable of video calling or turning your camera on?
I do not have camera capabilities. The computer that's provided by the district does not have a video capability.
Okay, good. Just wanted to have it on record. You can continue. My apologies for the interruption.
Yes, no problem. And so the purpose of the project is to alleviate stormwater, overland flooding, and street flooding, as well as basement backups in the area that are caused when rainfall inundates the current sewer system. And so the method that we're using is to utilize detention basins, which separate the stormwater only into storage areas that would then drain back into the sewer system after a period of delay up to 24 hours. Do I have permission to share a screen?
You do.
Okay.
If your computer allows you to do so.
So what I'm going to share is just an exhibit which might help orient yourself, as Alderman Boyd was saying. And so this red area here is the area that is proposed for a stormwater detention basin related to the vacation of Semple. And so Semple, this is Natural Bridge up here. Can you see my hand moving?
Mm-hmm.
So Natural Bridge is there. This is the former Gunlock School, and this is our Ashland Avenue. And Semple is this portion of a street here. We have an existing detention basin, and the intent is to expand that area to more fully utilize and take advantage of the opportunities to provide a greater level of service to residents in this area, as well as adjacent areas. And the overall project, like I said, it depends on us being able to vacate this area. It's going to be about $6 million expended in this area for the basins, with the follow-up project of approximately another $6 to $10 million in the future, and will increase the level of service to help reduce the amount of flooding that the residents have. I don't know if there's anything else that you guys would like to hear from, but I'll go ahead and yield back to the committee.
Thank you very much. Alderman Boyd.
Okay, so basically, Mr. Chairman, that's the presentation, and we open it up for questions from the committee.
All right. Does anyone from the committee have any questions for Alderman Boyd or Mr. Jared Barr? Anybody going through?
You're muted, Mr. Chairman.
Sorry about that. I'm not sure where everybody heard it. So were there any questions from the committee?
Yes,
for Alderman Boyd or for Alderman Jared Barr? All right, looks like there are no questions from any committee members. With that, you're recognized to close.
Sure, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm going to ask one question, Mr. before I close. Jared, what's the projected start date, provided that this passes, which it really shouldn't be a problem?
So currently our plan, we have it budgeted for our fiscal year of 2023, which begins July 1 of 2022. And so likely we would see it go to our board in August, and then we would have construction begin in that fall of 2022.
Okay. With that, Mr. Chairman, I move to pass Board Bill 65 out of committee with a due pass recommendation.
I'll second that.
Request for previous roll.
In previous roll.
All right, thank you. It's been moved by Alderman Boyd to pass out Board Bill 65 with a due pass recommendation, and seconded by Alderman Vaccaro. Also, there's been a request for a previous roll. Any objection? Hearing none, Board Bill 65 passes out with a due pass recommendation. You sustain your vote. Congratulations, Alderman Boyd.
Thank you.
Mr. Vice Chairman, I have a concern.
Yes, sir.
If Alderman Boyd leaves and if Alderwoman Martin and Alderwoman Schweitzer leave after their bills are heard, because it seems like they have places to go, we could potentially lose a quorum to vote on the street things. I just want to make sure we check that before we.
Understood. I appreciate that.
Or if they're all fine with previous roll, when we come back to that, it's okay then. We can move on as long as they're fine with previous roll. I just want to bring that up.
Thank you very much, Alderman Vaccaro. So to address Alderman Todd's bill, what was the number of Alderman Todd's bill?
Alderman Todd had board bill number 81.
81, I'm sorry. Alderman Todd, there were a few errors on the bill. The petition was correct, but there were a few errors on the bill that Alderwoman Todd's has just expressed she'd like to clean up before passing the board bill forward, and she'd like to be present during that passing. So I did just receive a message from her, and also spoke with her previously before I returned back to the committee hearing. But it seems right now at this point, she'd like to hold this bill into next week, into the next hearing that we have, or the next committee hearing.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much. And, once again, for clarification, there is not a concern on whether or not the board bill will pass out, or she's not concerned about the board bill in particular as far as its function. She just wants those errors that she has seen to be worked out, so the board bill can be correct when it's passed out of committee.
And what about
And
Board Bill 88, Alderman Muhammad's for about Lacey Clay?
so for Board Bill 88, I'm reading now, which seems that Board Bill 88 is missing a petition.
Okay, so it looks like hold that to the next meeting.
And she'd like to make sure that that petition is there. This is coming in, it's about 1 minute ago during the committee hearing. And it seems like that's all Board Bill 88 would be missing is a petition. So if there is a petition, Alderman Muhammad, if he's still listening, I'm not sure if you could get that into the chairwoman and the rest of the members of the committee. Okay, hold up. We got says the petition is attached to the board bill at the end of bill. Give me 1 second here. The petition is in a combined copy of 88. Okay. All right, give me 1 second. All right, so I'm on my phone here. I'll try to get to my laptop here during our next board bill. I also will take a look at the petition. Is any of the members of the committee seeing that petition on Board Bill 88?
It's at the end of it.
At the very end of it? Okay.
Yes, I see it.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. If you can, just look through it, I guess, verify it. I'll also get in touch with Alderwoman Ties and make sure that she's seen the petition at the same time. And we'll come right back to that board bill. As for the committee members that have to leave for now, seeing that there is a petition, would you all be okay with, I guess I'll ask the 2 members of the committee that may have to leave. Alderman Boyd, are you okay with previous role? In the event that we have to pass out, in the event that Alderwoman, the chairwoman, is okay with us passing out Board Bill 88 and you are not present.
Did you say Alderman or Alderwoman?
Alderman.
Oh, I'm good.
Okay.
I'm here.
Okay, that'll work. How about yourself there, Alderwoman Martin?
Thank you. Am I up now?
No, she's asking if you have to leave.
No, I am here. I really would like to get this vacation passed today if possible.
Okay, cool. So you don't have to leave.
No.
And the other one would have been Alderwoman Schweitzer.
All right, so next, Alderwoman Schweitzer, would you be okay with previous role?
I don't have to leave.
Oh, okay. So there's the only two bills we have to hear.
Leave at 1.
What's that?
I have to leave at 1 o'clock if we're not finished.
Okay, all right, so we got 45 minutes. I think we only got 3 left.
Two left and then the street name.
Okay, cool. So with that, we'll go on to Alderwoman Martin's board bill, which would be, what is the number of that bill?
64.
64. We'll put before us board bill 64.
Thank you.
Chairwoman, Madam Clerk, can you please read board bill 64, sorry.
Board Bill 64, introduced by Alderwoman Sarah Morton. An ordinance recommended by the Board of Public Service to conditionally vacate above surface, and subsurface rights for vehicle, equestrian, and pedestrian travel in the easternmost 8.52 feet of Water Street from East Davis northwardly, approximately 143 feet in St. Louis, Missouri, as hereinafter described in accordance with Charter Authority and in conformity with Section 1.4 of Article 21 of the Charter, and imposing certain conditions on such vacation.
All right, looks like the chairwoman just joined back in. Are you back, Chairwoman Ties? You're muted. I don't know if you can see Alderwoman Ties, Chairwoman, she's here. But her microphone isn't, your mic still isn't working.
I think we should do a collection up for the chairwoman to buy her a new computer or something.
All right, we'll go around and ask members of the committee. Says she normally dials in. It still says that her phone is. Chairwoman, if you're okay with us moving forward with Board Bill 65, could you just give me a nod, a thumbs up?
65. We did.
I am actually.
No, we're doing 64.
I actually. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
We can hear you now.
Can you see me?
Yes.
So this is a reason never to have a monopoly. I have 3 different devices. I have one with T-Mobile, one with Verizon, and one with Charter. So they were all blocked at one time because of Google. But this is why I don't believe in monopolies. So I am on my using my iPad, but going through my Verizon account. Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair. I appreciate you. Okay, this is why you have vice chairs. You are very good. Where are we? Can you bring me up to speed? Because I couldn't see anything.
Yes, ma'am. We have finished board bills for not Alderman Todd, but Alderman Boyd's, Jeffrey Boyd's board bills for a water retention garden. We have completed and passed out the board bill for Alderwoman Evans.
Okay.
And we have heard Alderman Todd's board bill, but it was not passed out after having conversation with you. We also have heard Alderman Muhammad's board bill 88, which looks like we found the petition that's attached to it at the very end of the board bill. And we also have heard, and passed out, what was it? I believe those are it. Alderwoman Schweitzer.
We still have.
No, she's next. We still have hers. So
Right,
we got
okay, so
64 for Alderwoman Martin. We just started Alderwoman Martin's board bill.
Okay, so we'll do hers, and then I'll go back and I'll tell you where the mistakes are in Alderman Todd's bill. So since you are already handling it, I'll just step back and let you finish this one, okay?
Wow. All right, let's do it. Thank you. All right, Alderwoman Martin, you're recognized on board bill 64.
Thank you. Yes, that is correct. Thank you, Mr. Vice Chairman. And thank you, committee. I have what I think is a pretty simple bill. Just to explain a little background on this, I'm going to just read what the property owner had sent me when he approached me about this. He purchased the property at 205 East Davis in 2005 for his packaging business. The docks were insufficient for their needs, so they built an addition to their building to add 2 docks for trucks. The addition was on Water Street. So the building sits at the corner of Water and Davis, and it encroached into the right of way. They were at the time when they needed to add these docks, they were advised by city staff to request an encroachment permit, which it was granted. And now they've outgrown the space and they've had several buyers, but they've backed out because they're worried that the city could take the encroachment back at any time. So what they're wanting, they actually have I believe the sale has already gone through, but they did find a buyer, but it was contingent on being able to vacate this sidewalk essentially to where the two docks sit. There's a home across the street, but otherwise this is a pretty industrial area. I really have no problem with it and fully support this. I'm happy to entertain any questions.
All right, thank you. Do you have any speakers?
I know.
Okay. Thank you. With that, we'll entertain any questions from the members of the committee. Does any members of the committee have any questions regarding Board Bill 64? Looking through, making sure nobody has a hand up. All right, with that, Alderwoman Morton, you're entertained to close. I'm sorry, you are welcome to close on Board Bill 64.
Thank you. With that, I will ask for favorable consideration for Board Bill 65, please, or 64 rather. We cannot get our board bill number straight today.
Then I will make a motion, we pass out Board Bill 64 with the due pass recommendation.
Second.
All right.
Previous roll.
Objection.
Mr. Chair, Mr. Vice Chair.
I move my motion for previous roll.
Thank you. There has been a motion
Well,
to pass out.
the chairman has her hand up.
I'm sorry. Let me, Alderwoman Taj, you're recognized. Chairwoman Taj.
I just wanted to know if you had continued with previous role. If you have, I have no objection, but if you had not continued with previous role, I have an objection. I don't know what you did while I was gone. Did you continue to do previous roles?
Yeah, no, ma'am, we didn't. It was objected to the first vote because you were not present. And after that, it has been a previous role.
Well, then I object to previous role so I can get back on the roll.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right, so there's been a motion to pass out Board Bill 64 by Alderman Vaccaro with the due pass recommendation, seconded by Alderman Boyd. Madam Clerk, please call roll.
Alderman Boyd.
Aye.
Alderman Vaccaro.
Aye.
Alderwoman Boyd.
Aye.
Alderman Bosley.
Aye.
Alderwoman Martin.
Aye.
Alderwoman Schweitzer.
Aye.
Alderwoman Peel. Chairwoman Tyus.
Aye.
7 aye votes.
Thank you. By your motion, you sustain your motion to pass out Board Bill 64 with the due pass recommendation. Congratulations, Alderwoman Martin.
Thank you.
Okay, I will take over now so I can tell you, Vice Chair, if we could go back to Board Bill 81 with Alderman Jesse Todd.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Alderman Todd, are you prepared? I wanted to tell you where your mistakes were so we didn't pass a board bill that had some errors in it, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Madam Clerk, if you will look on page 2, line 7, it says I instead of N.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then in page 3, line 2, it has Kim Massey, and it should be Michael P. McMillan. And then also it says her, and it should be him.
Okay.
We're going to attribute that to the scribers errors, just little mistakes when they were typing it over. Did we actually just hear the bill and not have any questions or anything about it?
We heard it and had asked the committee members if there were questions, but we just held the bill to ensure the issues that you spoke about. And, I knew you wanted to be present for it. Just until you got back.
Well, then if you don't mind, I'll just ask for entertain a motion. If no one else has any other questions, we made those corrections, I'd entertain a motion to pass out Board Bill 81 with the due pass recommendation.
So moved.
Second.
In previous role.
Got a motion and a second, call for previous roll. Any objections to previous roll? Hearing none, Board Bill 81 is passed out with a due pass recommendation with the correction. Being the former chair of rules, we really want the committees to try to catch the mistakes before they get to rules, because you have so many board bills. So now I'm very conscious of still trying to read those board bills. And I ask the committee members to kind of make sure you read your own board bill when you're bringing it before our committee and non-committee members, because that puts, Alderman Todd was on rules, and so was I. That puts a lot of pressure on the Rules Committee, and so was Alderman Vaccaro, to try to find the mistakes. So if we can find them in the committee, then that's easier for the Rules Committee. All right. Thank you, Alderman Todd. Appreciate it.
And thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay. So we got everything. So we did find the petition for Alderman Collins Muhammad?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
It's at the
okay,
back of the booth.
is he still here? He's not. I told him he could leave. So I'm gonna take the, usually I won't do this, but all we need is to pass this board bill out, so we don't need him to come back here. So, since we have his petition, that was make sure we had that. I'd entertain a motion that we pass out Board Bill 88 with the do pass recommendation.
So moved.
So move.
Second.
Previous roll?
Previous roll.
Okay, we have a motion that Board Bill 88 be passed out with a do pass recommendation. We have a call for previous roll. Any objections to previous roll? Hearing none, Board Bill 88 is passed out with a do pass recommendation. Okay, so the only board, as I'm understanding it, the only board bill we have left is 94. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Board Bill 94. Madam Clerk, would you please read the description, please?
Board Bill 94, introduced by Alderwoman Ann Schweitzer, an ordinance establishing a two-way stop site at the intersection of Bates and Leona Street, regulating all traffic traveling westbound down on Bates at the intersection of Bates Street and Leona Street.
Alderwoman Schweitzer, you're recognized on Board Bill 94.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair. So as Madam Clerk read, this is for a stop sign on a three-way intersection at Bates and Leona. I did notice that it says—
Excuse me, Alderwoman, I can only see your bottom of your face. So if you can move your camera a little bit.
I'm sorry about that.
Getting better. Getting a little bit more.
Face, so I'm not sure how much I need to move
it. There you go. Now we got you.
Thank you. I did notice a error in the board bill, and I apologize for not catching it sooner. It does say Westminster Place instead of Leona in I believe the third, let's see, the second kind of paragraph, line 9.
What page? What page?
Page 2, line 9. Well, yeah, it says page 1 of 1 twice, so page 2.
Yep. But when we talk about the board bill, we don't talk about so just so you know in the future, we're talking about the bill.
Okay.
So that's just, we have to have an.
I understand. Right. Thank you. So page 1, line 9, thank you. It needs to be Leona Street. So this is something that is—
Hold on just a minute. Madam Clerk, did you get that?
Yes, ma'am, I got it. Thank you.
And I can only see the bottom of your face also. What is with this? Is this a new thing for young people?
I can see everyone from your device.
I think you gotta pinch your screen, Alderwoman Ties. I mean, Chairwoman Ties.
Okay.
Small screen.
Blame it on my devices. Okay. All right. So go ahead, Alderwoman.
Thank you. So this is something that people at Leona and Bates have been asking for a long time. And the streets department had said that it wasn't an appropriate spot for a stop sign and wanted to do instead some traffic calming around it. So been working with streets and the Board of Public Service to also put in some crosswalks and bump outs on the sidewalk and medians and do more improvements at the intersection and bringing that back to the people who live there. They were still like, that's all well and good, but we need a stop sign. And I hear what they're saying. I have 2 written comments that I'd love to read quickly in just a moment. But people have been really injured there. There was a car accident just a month or 2 before my election where someone ended up in the hospital. The cemetery fence that runs along Bates has been hit multiple times, and it's been a very costly thing for the cemetery to constantly be repairing this. So the idea of this intersection is to kind of come at it from both ways, making sure that we're making changes to the built environment that allow it to be a more visual and physical barriers to make the people who are passing through that intersection slow down, and then the stop sign to make it a complete stop. And I know that it has to come all together with enforcement as well. And I was happy to see police officers all along Bates just yesterday doing some traffic stops. So I do think that it's part of a larger package, and I appreciate your consideration. I'd love to just quickly read, if it's okay with Madam Chair, the comments from people right next to the intersection.
That is fine. Please do so.
Okay, thank you. So the first is from Dave Wallace. He says, "Hello, I live very close to the corner of Bates and Leona. My wife and I have been pushing for stop signs to be installed at this intersection. I have seen far too many accidents involving cars attempting to turn onto Bates, and despite the no parking signs, being unable to see traffic approaching from Leona. These vehicles tend to be building speed, and then vehicles turning off Leona cause accidents to occur. It is also a bus stop for several schools, and it is very unsafe for those children both on and off the bus. My other hope is that it will reduce the unacceptable amount of speeding and unsafe passing we see on the street every day." And to his point, this is also combined with some parking striping that's also happening along Bates to kind of visually narrow the street even further. And the second letter is from Jared Irby. And Jared Irby writes, "I recently lived at 4058 Bates. I also work at Lutheran Development Group at 3100 Chippewa Street and serve as the Vice President of Epiphany Lutheran Church. I speak in support of Board Bill 94 that Ann Schweitzer is introducing. I lived at the corner of Bates and Leona and witnessed multiple accidents at the corner. 2 accidents in particular happened approximately 7:30 a.m. on a weekday and another on an afternoon on a Saturday. Both accidents were people traveling at high rates of speed down Bates and people turning from Leona to head west on Bates, not being able to see down the road. Not only is it dangerous for people in motor vehicles, it is a hazard to pedestrians who are traveling as well. There are numerous children who live and play around that corner, and they could additionally be harmed by motor vehicle accidents, as I witnessed one car travel down the street after an accident and fly into the sidewalk and take out a streetlight. Additionally, there are no stop signs from Bates to Leona. This often allows people to pick up a high rate of speed on Bates. Leona and additionally Coronado are tough streets to turn on to Bates, and for this reason, a traffic calming measure would be a great way to both help calm speeding that often happens on Bates and additionally make it safer for drivers and pedestrians to travel in that area." So as you can hear, this is something that people who live right there and have been there for a long time really want to see, and I appreciate your consideration.
Okay, it's always great when our constituents get in and let us know what they need, and so that's one of the reasons we're here. So I appreciate both of your constituents writing in. Is there anyone on the committee that has any questions? Any questions by the committee? Hearing none, I'd entertain a motion that we pass out Board Bill 94 with a due pass recommendation.
So moved.
Second.
Previous roll.
Have a call. We have a motion and a second that Board Bill 94 be passed out with a due pass recommendation. We have a call for previous roll. Any objections to previous roll? Hearing none, Board Bill is passed out with a due pass recommendation. This is the first Board Bill that the Alderwoman from the 13th, I had to get it right, has passed out of a committee. So we want to all just congratulate her on that, and let's give her a hand, please. Okay. Is there any other business before the committee? You will get an email from me later today. So we're going to try to do, if we don't have a lot of stuff, we're going to try to do board bills and start our investigation into towing at the same time. But if it's a lot of bills that come before us, I will separate them out. But if it's like today, we moved along pretty good, except for my problem. But so if we only have things like this, we'll move along. If we have something that's going to take a long time, then I'll separate it out. So I'll be asking you about what 2 days is the best for you, but we won't always have 2 days. We'll usually just do one, but we'll start towing investigation next. And then we're going to move on to the whole 50/50 sidewalk and public works thing. Is there any other business before the committee? Okay, I move that we adjourn the Streets Committee.
Second.
All
So
in
moved.
favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Streets Committee is adjourned. Thank you so much. I appreciate the committee. And I thank you, Mr. Vice Chair. You did a great job.
Thank you. I appreciate it. You also.